Today we are going to look into the AWS VPC basics. This won't be a detailed video, but this will give you a fair idea of what are the important components of VPC and what is what in VPC. Now, first of all, what is a VPC? A VPC in AWS, it's a virtual private cloud. You could say um, it's kind of uh, your own space or your own network area where you would be deploying um, your servers and the other things. So that's the VPC. So like in this whole world of internet, right? So every organization has its own network. So similarly, in AWS, you could create your own uh, set of uh, internet IPs, and that's what is called as virtual private cloud. So the important thing that you see is first thing is this IP address. Right? Now this IP address, as it suggests, right? It's the IPv4 version, and it's when we say 16, so it's like there is a CIDR concept of CIDR, which we'll cover later in the other videos, not in this video. This will be a very basic thing. What is a VPC? So now, what are the components of VPC? So first of all, VPC is a regional service. So it will be part of one region. Okay, and every VPC can have two types of subnets. One is a public subnet, and the other one is a private. Now, what is the difference between a public subnet and a private subnet? A public subnet is basically allowed to connect to internet. Okay, so say suppose I have an instance in public subnet, so that instance can run something like www.google.com. It will work. But say I have another instance in private subnet and I do www.google.com. Don't assume for now that just assume that there is no connectivity. So it's a private subnet. So when we say private subnet, it is only within this VPC. So it can communicate within the VPC, not outside. So, and how do we distinguish or how do we do that? So basically in the public subnet is connected to internet gateway. Now this internet gateway gives the access to internet. So that's how you get the access to internet in the public subnet. Now, how this public subnet and internet gateway is connected? It is through this route table. You could say a router, internal route. So this route table, it can be at a VPC level, it can be at public subnet level. Okay, you can define that way. So this route table, as you can see, so it is saying local. When it is showing destination local, means complete VPC. Now the other one, destination means all IP address connects to the internet gateway. So if if there is any internal or external traffic that is coming via internet gateway, it will be routed here. That's what it is saying. So apart from this destination, is there any other destination? Then it will be routed to internet gateway. That's the point. So this is done through route table. So this communication is done through the route table. So this is a very important component. Now coming to the other important part, you could say a firewall. So there are two types of firewall. So first one is network AAC, okay, access control list. So this is basically at the subnet level. Okay, so it's a stateless security, you could say, and it is at the subnet level. So suppose if there is traffic which is coming here, the first layer, it will be NACL. it has to clear this NACL, and then it goes into the public subnet. So if you got the idea, right? So this is the first firewall for us, and it is at the level of public subnet. Now, after this is cleared, once it gets into this subnet, now when it tries to get into some instance, okay, so there is another firewall, or you could just secure it, which is the security group. Now this is at the instance level. Okay. Now when we will discuss that in detail, you will come to know that it is not instance, basically the ENI, the network interface. Okay, so it's basically a network interface to which the security group is, and this network interface is attached to this instance, and that is how you get the IP address. So that's how it internally works. Okay, and the security group is a stateful. When I say stateful, if there is an incoming traffic from a certain source, then I don't need to put the outbound for that. It is understood. Okay, and in case of NACL, it is stateless. I have to provide both the source and destination. Even though source is allowed, the destination for the same source won't be allowed. So that is why it is stateless. Okay, and suppose if I want to connect to internet in the private subnet, then it will be via net gateway. Okay, so that's what it is depicted here. So in this case, it goes directly to internet. Here it goes to net gateway. And net gateway, it would be in public subnet. Okay, so these are the important basic details of VPC, AWS VPC. Once you understand this, then the other things becomes easier, and we will cover each and everything in detail in the coming videos. Thank you so much.